tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Hit the lights. It's Sunday night, and this is SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by Hewitt Domaduros Law, HD Law, SC.com. Make sure that you give them a call. Brad and Dean will get you right when it comes to personal injury, dog bites, you fell down a flight of stairs, you have an insurance claim, you need to know a good recommendation for lunch, whatever it is in your life that you need. Call Brad and Dean at Hewitt Domaduros Law, or just simply go to hdlawsc.com. All right, boys, what's going on? I'm Rob Williams. We have Craig McMichael, as always, my esteemed co-host, and the award-winning dulcet tones of Casey Cregan are here to join us from the jump.
Tickle our ears.
SEC Sunday Night After Dark. What's up, boys? How we doing?
I need to see. You have an SEC pretty hat. You have two Hewitt Domaduros hats. What am I like? I get like I'm from Detroit, but like, come on. Like I'm expecting Casey to like have an HD hat now next time.
Look, this is the issue continues to be your location. What have we learned, boys? What have we learned? Location.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Craig,
UPS,
find himself.
FedEx, United States Postal Service still work. I mean, I have a question
money
for you. Yeah, I get it. Speaking of which, do you all have the Amazon drone delivery system by y'all in South Carolina? I was working the baseball game the other night. I was working the baseball game the other night. I swear a pop-out was taking out the Amazon drone. That thing was flying so low. Freaks me out a little bit. I'm not real comfortable with the drone flying over my head.
No, what we have a lot more of are the driving robot DoorDash delivery things.
Have you ever hit one with your truck?
No, I haven't. Have you? Is that where this is coming from? Have I ever hit one with my truck?
No, but like I see those on Instagram, like they either get hit by the truck or one was going over the train tracks and the train just takes it out. Like I'm just hoping.
Do you get a refund for your food?
Surely.
Oh, the
driver's insurance has to pay for it, I'm sure. And then how that works? We're filing claims for lost food now.
Hi, Allstate. We know you're in good hands.
Depending on how hungry you are.
Smashed.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. There's a ton of them. If you go near, I live obviously in Columbia, South Carolina. So if you go near campus, there's a ton. They're all over the place.
Is there like a frat house that may be like borrowing that, like just picking that thing up and they take
no, because they're not over there. That's not where I see them. I see them more near the freshman dorms.
Freshmen are too scared to do anything silly like that.
Yeah, well, they're also
promoting some nefarious activity.
So I've never seen them, and I stay in downtown Columbia a good bit, but I see. Is it DoorDash or Grubhub though?
I'm not going to give away where you stay, Casey, but you're a couple of blocks off of where you need to be at the center of.
In order to get in, folks, you need a pinky up. You need
to
make
Rob
sure you have
dropped
a
me off.
collared shirt on.
No.
Rob brought me door to door service last time. Yeah,
and that's another thing that you miss out on, Craig, because you're not in South Carolina.
I do have my pinky up most days, though. Let's be honest.
This is true. Okay, let's jump in.
How was your week, everybody?
It was fantastic. It's 8:04, which means it's time to take a look around the league. But before we do that, I do think that tonight we have three different things that I want to hit, but let me just kind of overview where we're going. We've got Maggie Johnson on later to talk about Missouri, to go through our spring football previews.
Who else would you get to talk Mizzou? Really?
Exactly.
Not Brett
exactly.
There's nobody else.
we pre-recorded that, so it's a really really great conversation.
Wait, we did?
I did.
Oh, you did. I wasn't.
You weren't
even,
invited.
I wasn't even invited for that. Like you hang out with Casey, you're getting like random DoorDash and robots getting you. What? Am I getting Wally pipped over here?
Okay, look.
Again.
Okay, look.
I finished.
Here we go. So Maggie is going to talk Mizzou with us later on in the show. We're going to predict the schedule as always. We need to get through some baseball and softball talk. We have Genius, but just to make things a little more interesting tonight as we work our way through, I'm going to throw an extra body into the stream. Everybody, here's our boy Chris Marley.
Man, look at this professional setup, baby.
Chop it up.
The biggest body in the whole group.
What's going on? How we doing?
You did that
I got some
purpose.
drinks. I got some things to say. I'm pretty fired up right now.
How was the crawfish? Was it 3 pounds of crawfish you smashed tonight?
That's like apparently that's like not that much. Like other people are like, you could do way more, and I'm like, I don't know if I want that to be my life. Like, I don't,
dude.
I know
I'm
I don't
from
need
Detroit.
it.
I don't know anything. I know nothing.
I mean, 2 pounds of crawfish seems like a lot. So it's not. You're not eating 3 pounds of food, but you are ingesting roughly 87 pounds of sodium, and it is, God, it's so good. It's just there's nothing about this state in Louisiana that's like if you ever move here and you're trying to lose weight, like we were for the wedding, it's like, yeah, okay, good luck, dude. Good luck. Every next up is a crawfish. After crawfish season is strawberry season. That's not even a real thing. It feels like an 8-year-old.
Can you gain weight with strawberries though?
Pre-diabetes is like, hey, what can we celebrate next? Ice cream sundae season? Absolutely. Let's do it.
You would get me to move to Louisiana.
Dude, I love it here.
They have to have that somewhere around here. Okay. Let me run through these and then we'll chop it up a little bit. As we look at the baseball series this weekend, Auburn defeats Florida. Georgia over Arkansas. Noteworthy one there with a 26-14 win in Game 3, which is kind of mind-blowing. Ole Miss over Tennessee. Vanderbilt pulls it out today against Kentucky. Mississippi State sweeps South Carolina. Texas A&M sweeps LSU. Oklahoma sweeps Missouri, and Texas takes 2 out of 3 from Alabama. So we're continuing to see, boys, how this kind of shapes up when we look at the postseason. And we were talking about this, Chris, a little bit before you jumped on, really before we started the show, before off air. But when we look at baseball specifically, we can see the end of the season right around the corner.
Yeah.
How many teams are we getting into the postseason from an SEC perspective? Because this is where it gets dicey. I'm going to ask this question about softball as well. But if you just look down the list in softball, Oklahoma's number 1, Alabama is number 2, Texas A&M's number 11, Florida's 7th, Tennessee is 9th. I'm doing this in order of SEC ranking or SEC records, by the way.
Yeah.
Texas is 15th, Arkansas is 6th, Georgia's 13th, LSU 17th, Mississippi State is 14th, South Carolina is 25th. So, there's only 4 teams that aren't ranked on the softball side, and a few of them may or may not have a chance to slide in there too. Like that's not a that's a little bit of an easier one. It's more of who's going to be at the top right now. Bama kind of holds that notch over Oklahoma, but if we look at baseball, I think it's a little dicier.
Yeah.
And this is always going to be something that's going to be a strength in the SEC. But we've seen other conferences perform stronger in postseason play in other sports recently, and there's been a lot of talk about that.
Not heard any of that.
I have not, Casey. Just to be clear,
I don't see how this will trickle into baseball, if I'm being honest. But I think you want to look at how many teams are going to get in and what are the opportunities. You keep drinking out of that cup, Casey. We've got something for you later
I love that cup.
during the boards.
He stole your cup.
Do we have thoughts
probably
from an SEC standpoint? Like
everyone's getting into softball. They always do. Like everyone's. I mean, there's only 15 softball teams. Vanderbilt does not have a softball team because they have bowling, and that sounds like a sentence I made up, but it's real. and then you have baseball, which is like I think South Carolina's. I think we're just right on the cusp of really turning it on, so they might be in. That's obviously a joke. I do think that like. I think the cutoff is going to be a 3 seed for like Kentucky and LSU. And I just have a very hard time wrapping my head around LSU not making the postseason. But it's also becoming more and more clear that they are not good enough to necessarily do that. And I don't know if they make it in by name alone, but it feels like it almost feels like inconceivable they would not make the postseason. But I think that's kind of what we're headed to.
Yeah, I think that, we've said all year, we've come back to it time and time again. And Casey and I have both said, oh, chill out. They're going to be fine. Chill out. They're going to be fine.
Numerous times, Rob.
It might be time. It might be time to hit the button, Casey. I don't know how fine they are at this point.
The calendars are going to have to flip to May, and they'll be all set. That's it.
They just don't play good baseball.
23-18, and they weren't in. I don't believe. I watched 2 of the 3 games, so I could be lying, but odds are with me here. They weren't in 2 of the 3 games at all this weekend with A&M. I know top 10 ranked A&M, but they didn't look good at all.
They've lost 6 straight, Casey. And
all right, so they lost Friday.
In the past, you'd be like, all right, well, they're 23-18. Surely they've done something good they can hang their hat on. And you're like, what's the good? Like they haven't they've lost really bad games in the midweek. They lost to Northeastern, and Northeastern lost 93.5% of their returning production from a pitching standpoint. Like not Northeastern a year ago that was like a 2 seed and had like a dominant first round type guy on your Friday night starter. Like they just don't play good baseball. It's very frustrating to watch.
Did they miss in the portal? Asking
I'm
for a
glad you
friend
asked.
who may or may not know what missing in the portal is doing to a particular season that I enjoy watching.
They signed. Yeah, you don't know anything about the portal because you're a Clemson fan.
Well, so baseball does, and we missed on a guy that was supposed to have 11 billion home runs for us. So yeah,
who was that kid again?
Ty Daly,
the Mercer kid.
They brought in a kid from Kansas who would have been their best starter, and he it's Cooper Williams or Cooper Moore. I forgot his name. He was a Saturday starter at the start of the year, but he got injured and he's been out. And so then you have Case and Evans. I think LSU fans are having a really hard time understanding, and this is something I've talked about with you, Casey, before. And it's about your attitude for one, and then also Clemson and Bama. They had to Bama fans and Clemson fans had to kind of realize this after having like Bryce Young and Tua and Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts and like all these like really good quarterbacks. And then for Clemson, Deshaun Watson and Taj Boyd and Trevor Lawrence. It's like at some point the generational quarterback, that train comes to a halt. Like it doesn't matter how many 5-stars you sign afterwards. Like they're not going to all be that good. And I think that when you had 2 guys that go in the first 2 rounds, including Cade Anderson, who was like a number 3 overall pick last year for LSU, at some point, like you don't just replace that. And they've had a really hard time on Friday night with Case and Evans, and they've had a really hard time at the plate more than anything. And they listen, they went out and got a portal class that on paper was like one of the best in the country. And you look at it fit all their needs, and they are so bad defensively. Today they had a wild pitch. It was their 59th wild pitch, which is 21 more than anyone else in the conference. Like it is every way you look at it, it's really bad. It's really bad.
That's as impressive as Georgia's home run distance between first and second.
In 2 different ways. I'll point out here that our friend Maggie Johnson, who will be with us later in the show, is less than thrilled that Marler is on to.
I'm the only other person that talks positively about Mizzou. Shut up.
I love it, and we have a lot of Mizzou listeners, so I'm excited to see what happens at the end of this.
Is it karma for LSU? I mean. They stole poor old Mrs. Coach from the playoff. They stole
he willingly left.
Wade. I'm just saying, but it's karma sometimes comes back and bites you right in the backside.
If you want karma, it's the slow portal movement on the basketball side.
Dude, that part's hilarious. They don't have a single we were at the press conference and they were like, Will, the portal opens like tomorrow. Sure, we're gonna hit the ground running. And he's like, we're probably not. We're gonna Lieutenant Dan hit the ground, and I'll say that we're going to just sit still for quite some time because they're the only Power 4, not Power 4, high major team in the country that doesn't have a single player. They don't have a player coming in the recruiting class. They don't have a player returning, and they don't have a player in the portal, which is
wow.
I know this starting 4. If we bring Maggie on, we look like the cast of Air Bud or Indiana in the 70s, but like we could probably start for LSU right now.
I mean, gotta have somebody.
Will Auntie Kim put me on, you think? Do you think Auntie Kim will play me?
We're talking Will Wade here.
I know. I know what we're
Gregory.
talking
We don't know, Craig. What type of offer do you need to get out there on the floor?
Dude.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm not going to go there. I could.
You're
I
gonna
could
say
go
very
some-
inappropriate.
You can't bring a stick with you, Craig.
Okay. Did anybody watch the Georgia Arkansas 26-14 game? Have we
I thought it was
tuned
a
in on
spring
that?
game.
What is going on
Dude,
to get to that total?
it's-
Marlon,
That's
could
a
you
juice,
just
He's
break it-
like, well, I
break it
sure
down
hope
for
they don't
us?
hit any home runs this weekend. They had 0 last week. I hope they have 0 this week. And I don't know. I'm giving him like a 1930s announcer's voice, but that's like it's very much a narrator said, but they did give up some home runs. They gave up 9 on Sunday alone. 9. 8 would have been too much. They gave up 9. And that's like they're not playing in Foley, which is like a little bit of a bandbox to right field. Like, and everyone keeps saying that too about Foley Field, how it's like it's such a small place. It's only small in right center. All of their big home run hitters are right-handed. Like they are just
They're not.
it's crazy how well they hit the baseball.
What did they do? Do we feel like there's something extra that went into the sauce this year? What did they change to vault themselves to this record level that we're seeing? And the same thing can be said about Oklahoma, and we've said this week after week on the softball side.
Oh my God.
Like raking.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting we call the Athens Clark County
No.
police to maybe investigate?
They
I
would
mean,
find
you know,
a little small portion of creatine on the counter, and the guy would be arrested for years for cocaine. That is, dude. What is happening? Like, how upset are they about?
I think
everything?
I think they're trying at this point. To be honest, it's like
Did you smirk at me?
No,
I don't
I'm
understand.
literally just standing here, sir.
Blocking the sidewalk. He's like the smallest person. Did you see how they spelled Zachariah? What kind of maniacal asshole spelled? I don't know. I mean, he spelled it in the only way that like the King James version of the Bible would have spelled it. It was so wrong. It felt like it was from like the BC times.
Yeah, he wrote a book in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
All right. It's 8:17 on SEC Sunday night. We're going to hit our first time out. When we come back, we're going to look through the message boards, and Chris Marler is here to talk to us about defensive coordinators outside of the league. We'll be right back after this.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
This is SEC Sunday night on the Chiefs Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Diamaduros Law, hdlawsc.com right there on the hat for you. We are here with our good friend Casey Cregan, the esteemed and award-winning producer of the Message Board Genius podcast. Chris Marler is here to join us because who doesn't need more voices? And I'm Rob, he's Craig as always. And it's time for It Just Means More. Genius.
Marler picked the board this week, so it's his
We've got
fault.
some good ones. It actually appears that Marler may have picked the boards this week. I can confirm that he did not, but that's a good rumor to start because it would track. All right, let's go here first. Casey, take it away.
Yep. All right. MBG says times appear to be tough at Mississippi State. Our friend OG Goat Holder.
Either way.
Has it ever been a worse time to be a State fan? I don't care what you think about baseball. Hell, that dysfunction just adds to it. We suck at every effing part of this. We don't agree. We aren't united. We aren't good. We don't know how to market. We are cheap, though, so that's one thing. But many don't like that part of it either. The one thing we thought we had just hit reality. With NIL, good times don't seem to be coming. Why does every Mississippi State board, you just want to hug them? Every one of them.
I don't want to hug this guy.
I need a hug. Goat holder.
I think he's hugging his goats, and that's the problem.
That's actually a good point.
I don't know.
This is 17. Is that
I think it was supposed to be the F word.
Okay. I've never seen that.
Is that like code?
Are we this down bad in Starkville?
Didn't they just sweep South Carolina?
They did.
Yeah.
Shut up,
They
Casey.
did.
No.
Oh, is that something we hang our hat on now? I thought everyone sweeps South Carolina.
Not Missouri.
Or is that just football and basketball?
Craig, you don't sweep in football, dummy. You don't play multiple games. First off.
Listen, don't bring facts in here. Don't bring facts in here.
Okay, look, times appear to be tough at Mississippi State. Shout out to MBG for phrasing it that way because aren't they kind of always?
Always.
Right, move on.
Always.
Speaking of hard times.
Oh, here we go. Our friends. Well, MBG says Auburn should use its resources to try to make the rules fair again. Arrow Eagle AU says we should spend our money on lobbying the NCAA feds to make the rules fair again. Salary cap, equal playing ground, etc. Make recruiting matter again. So should we make some more hats?
I'll go first here.
Go ahead.
NCAA, that's who we're going to lobby? That's what you wanted to do? What a genius move.
We do a lot.
No pun intended, or maybe my pun is fully intended, but that is the most genius thing I've ever heard, that we're going to go get the NCAA to step in because they can make a difference here.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. In the most unironical way possible, this is perfect because Auburn, much like the NCAA, is so completely irrelevant over the last 5 years that there might not be two things and entities that have had less relevance and like a declining factor or scale, or however you want to say it, over the past, ever since NIL, really, or COVID, either way. I mean, COVID ruined Auburn football, and so did Gus Malzahn and Brian Harsin.
I was just going to say, did they even recruit? I don't think Harsin did any recruiting.
They
I don't
thought
think
that, they thought that getting Hugh Freeze was going to somehow be like, well, that guy knows how to recruit, man. He knows how to recruit. And it's like he knows how to do a lot of stuff, and most of it's illegal. And then also, you wouldn't got like them going to get a coach that beat Alabama twice 10 years ago, firing him, and then getting a guy that almost beat Alabama twice 3 years ago is one of the most just chef's kiss Auburn things of all time. It's amazing.
I'll also add here a shout out to our friend Jonathan Williams, J. Will, over with Brooks Austin and those guys, because he pointed out this week that although probably has the best handicap out of anybody in the SEC, even though he's not even a coach in the SEC anymore, the video of all these coaches and analyzing their golf swing.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze looks like he's going in the water every time he swings the club. It's terrible. He looks like he can't move.
It needs water because it's so dehydrated. It looks so bad.
All right.
Hang on real quick. Hey, hang on before we leave. One positive thing about Auburn. Did you see the new upgrades they're doing to Jordan Hare?
Incredible.
They're putting like the underground stadium, thing, like Mississippi State has. Those are going to be cool. That's going to be great. So, at least they're spending their money on something.
Craig, remind everybody what Jordan Hare is before we move on to the next thing.
It's a house of whores.
All right, you make sure you say that correctly. All right, go ahead, Casey.
All right, our friend MBG says, can any of you balds give this Tennessee fan some advice? T-Town Ralph says, thinking about getting a toupee. Any advice?
I got to ask 3-year Letterman because, I mean, nobody knows this better than him, for one.
I don't know what to do with this one.
A toupee, it feels like there's a lot of stuff you can do now.
Actually, somebody told me today that that you can shoot up peptides that'll make your hair grow back. So I'm thinking about yeah.
Peptides are all over the place right now.
Yeah.
Casey was trying to sell them to me in the parking lot earlier.
I was unaware that it was an intravenous drug. So apparently,
I would just go see Maury.
Apparently, that's the way to do it.
You just shoot up anything nowadays.
I will say our friend Craig Godwin, who is an avid Chief Sports listener, wants to know if 18 strikeouts in Game 2 is good against Mississippi State.
Was it 18? I'm looking at the
Did we throw them or did we swing at them?
Swung at them.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State's had a really good. I mean, listen, I don't care. This sucks to say. It sucks to say because like the ultimate goal is to win games, and I hate moral victories, but like. There's a part of you that looks at this weekend for South Carolina and you're like, oh, it could have been worse, and that feels okay.
Yeah, they was very competitive in every game, lost in extras today.
Yeah,
so, but
how did Georgia do against Mississippi State? How'd that go?
All right, I've got another board for us.
That wasn't this week. Who cares? Speaking of who cares, MBG says the powers that be in the Big Ten and SEC did everything they could to sabotage Dabo's image and derail Clemson's dynasty. Usel74 on TigerNet, which is always repping on the MBG show. When Dabo was winning national championships, the searing rage emitting from the SEC and Big Ten mongers and other powers that be was palpable. These folks did everything they could to sabotage his image and derail his dynasty here at Clemson with their forked tongues. It has been one campaign after another, each reflecting the current and most shallow view of our program. Even sadder are two things. One, when outside propaganda articles are featured on this one. Two, people who are actual fans believe the shallow takes, and it echoes throughout these chambers. LSU is not guaranteed to beat us, and the SEC is just another conference. Get behind our team and coach. Go Tigers. Dan Wolkin, looking at you, pal.
First off, don't ever bring Dan Wolkin up again, especially when I've had this much to drink. Two, him saying these chambers is so incredibly dramatic that I love it even more. And then three, all the SEC did to derail Dabo and his whole perception was just put a microphone in front of him and let him talk. Like that's
let him go.
That's what did it. Like him seeing that he had unlimited use of saying words into a microphone and a camera was like, man, there's few things that were more detrimental than that. He could have had a sex tape come out and it would have been better for his PR than anything he has said into a microphone.
I've had many of my friends, fellow Clemson alums, say, does he have a PR guy? I don't know if he has a PR
There's
guy.
no way.
All right, well, you know what?
He may have one, but he's not listening to him.
No.
Our friends in the upstate of South Carolina are deserving of not just one message board, but two, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead, Casey, take it away.
It's a treasure trove.
MBG says Clemson should stop recruiting for a year and buy themselves some professional players from Ole Miss, Georgia, and Ohio State. Tampa Tiger 4. I know it's not me, even though I lived there forever. We should take a year off from recruiting since we seem not to be willing to pay millions to high school kids. I think we should consider taking a year off from recruiting. That way we would not need to be bothered with the issues of housing, feeding, and training incoming freshmen. Rather, take that money and purchase some great-looking portal targets. We might even consider purchasing some professional players from Ole Miss, UGA, or Ohio State who are not starters, since there are apparently no rules regarding tampering. But I think that brings up a good question. And yes, make fun of this Clemson fan too. But didn't Kirby just say the other day that you have to kind of earn your paycheck there, and he was getting lauded?
He does. That's the biggest knock on Kirby and Georgia right now is the fact, like, yeah, they're not paying what everybody else is. Like, you're gonna have to actually earn it.
Yeah, and all the guys are getting too. It's like they're still able to pitch like, go play somewhere else, and that's fine. But also, we're going to put kids in the league at an incredible pace more than anyone else year over year. Like maybe we're not going to win the national title every year because it's really hard to win the national title. What we are going to do is put a lot of kids in the league. We're going to develop the shit out of you, and it's all going to be very, very positive. And like 4 years ago, that used to be like what the pitch should have been. And I'll tell you what, I'll say what everyone's thinking, or at least everyone should be thinking out loud for Clemson. It's not that you need to stop recruiting. Stop recruiting white kids so heavily. If I see one more Bryce or Tanner starting in your secondary, I know that I got one-on-one on the outside, and I'm fucking going there. Excuse my language, but I'm going there. Like, There's no reason to. There should never be a Jace starting in the secondary or at receiver for you, and they damn near do it every year. It's insane to me. Who's that? Brian with a Y? Is that Jeff with a G? What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Go do my taxes.
From
do
Daniel
not
High School.
Throw you a football.
From DW Daniel High School, my friends.
It's insane to me, and none of them even related to Herb Street or Swinney anymore. Like when they were just relatives of Herb Street and Dabo, it was fine. But now they're like, no, this dude, you don't get it, dude. He's 6 feet 210. He runs a 4.6 40. You're like, yeah, most of them do. Most of them. But he's got a hell of a GPA, brother. But he's got a hell of a GPA.
I saw Herbie up in Ann Arbor yesterday. Yeah,
somebody's got to win those academic awards somewhere along the way. Speaking of academic awards, Chris, Indiana has decided to win things other than in the classroom, and upon doing so, the defensive coordinator has just decided that he's going to, throw his weight around on social media or get his bruised ego out there for everybody to see. I think you have some thoughts about Ty Simpson's comments about Indiana, and preface it by letting everybody know if they did not see this video, because I saw it and I felt pretty much the same as you did.
So I think most normal people did. And I use that word very loosely because I'm not normal, but I like Ty Simpson came out and was like, yeah, man, that Indiana game was crazy. We knew what they were going to do, but they just beat the out of us the entire game. Like they were so much better than us. It didn't matter. It did not matter what we did.
He basically said they did the same thing. He's like, they didn't surprise us at all. They did the same thing over and over again, but they did it so well. They executed so well. There was nothing I could do.
Direct quote, they were so well coached, which that sentence alone, I was like, that should probably, carry some weight in this reaction. And I think if you were a person watching that team, like that game objectively, you were like it kind of felt like that something like that was coming. Like you were waiting for the dam to break. And when Bama went for it on 4th and 1 on their own 35, it was like, even if they get this, I don't trust the offense to consistently move the ball enough. Like Indiana was just a wagon of a team. They were awesome. I guess what I'm so confused about is what did the Indiana coach or their fans need him to say that would have generated a different reaction? Because him saying, man, they were so well coached, they were so great, somehow turned into like, that's adorable. F you, F everything you're saying. Everything you're saying is like, how dare you come at us? And people were like, yeah, get him, coach. Get him, coach. And it was like, I posted the meme of what's the movie from The Other Guys? When he's like, all right, let's do good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Then Will Ferrell's like, you want to talk to me? You want to talk to me? And he's like, I thought you said bad cop, bad cop. Like that was the whole response. It was like, hey man, that's a great shirt. That looks. You like this shirt? You like this shirt on me? Like just losing his mind on everything. It was one of the most overreactive things that I feel like, and I've been to therapy for years. I would love to be a fly on the wall to see what the therapist would have to say to this guy to be like, what could have possibly made you react the way you did? Because it was insane. And it would trickle down to their whole fan base.
Well, you would like to tell them, act like you've been there before, but it's Indiana and they've never been there before. So, I mean,
I think that kind of went into it. I think it was like, it's like some of the media that like responded to it, even their other coaches were like, and it was so funny because they were so close to seeing how ridiculous they were being. Because there was a couple coaches that were like, yeah, we play ball, we don't play internet. And you're like, you've tweeted 7 times in the last 2 hours since you said that. Like, I don't know if you don't get it. And then I started hearing stories from like Bama media that was like at the Rose Bowl. And there was several cases where multiple people said that like once the massacre started and they were just beating the crap out of Alabama, that there were people turning around and like mouthing off to other media. Like, very strict part of the media that you do not cheer on either side when you are in a press box. And the fact that was like, Indiana's a pretty good journalism school. Like, I mean, I only know one person that went there, but he's a pretty good journalist. Connor O'Gara, he does a great job. It was shocking to me to hear that like they were so egregiously awful in every side of this because of I guess years and years of not winning, and they finally win. You're like, hey man, hell of a job. Like, don't talk to me. Oh, okay, my bad.
You expect it from Ann Arbor, not Bloomington.
Did you guys see I'll read the tweet. His initial response was adorable. We also saw everything they were doing on every single snap. It's just that we exploited those cues and didn't get frozen and crushed by them. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, boys.
Yes.
Just snowballed.
Great job.
Snowballed from there.
Great job, coach. It was such a weird, and then him firing off a follow-up tweet where he doubled down and then seemingly got like illiterate in his response, where there's like double spaces in between the periods and everything else.
He was just that mad.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm here to be the voice of reason about how you emotionally handle something on Twitter or grammatically do something wrong, that you've lost. You've lost a lot.
Craig,
3 pounds of crawfish will do that for you.
Craig, from your Big Ten perspective, is there anything you'd like to say from the Indiana side?
No,
Come to the aid of
I couldn't
Indiana.
care less about Indiana. I couldn't care less about Indiana.
They don't have a lacrosse team.
They do, but it's like club. Like it's not even a real thing. It's like South Carolina's.
First off, back it up. All of
were
our
national
collective
champions
anger is
2 years
going
ago.
towards one school right now, and it's not South Carolina.
Also,
That's
you're officially outnumbered on this screen right now, so
That's
let's
fine.
not.
It's all good. All good.
All right, boys. We appreciate you jumping in here. It's time for another
Thank
timeout
you.
on SEC Sunday night.
Thanks, boys.
Marler, Cregan, appreciate you both. Craig, we're going to hit this break and talk to Maggie, and then we'll be back to predict the Missouri schedule. So you get ready. I teed us up very nicely there at the end. We'll be right back on SEC Sunday night.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
SEC Sunday night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and proudly presented by Hewitt Diamaduros Law, hdlawsc.com. I'm joined now by my friend and yours, Maggie Johnson. You know her and you love her, and we're talking Mizzou tonight. Maggie, what's going on? How we doing?
Doing pretty good. The weather's kind of crazy here in St. Louis. I don't know what it's like there, but it's like sunshine, then tornadoes, then sunshine, then hail, and it's just kind of crazy, but getting excited to get a little bit more into that spring, summer football time where rosters are a little bit more solidified.
Yeah, it's totally different, right? Like we know who is on each roster, which is just insane. We don't have to wait. We kind of pretty much have it all locked down at this point, which gives us I think more talking points in the spring, but eventually, as we move through the summer, are we going to run out of talking points? Has been my question the whole time. List season is going to get a bump on everybody's radar for sure, because we're going to need a few extra lists to get us through, but not right now because we're still working our way through spring football. And here on SEC Sunday Night, we're still working our way through every team one at a time. So I have a lot of actually really good things to say about Mizzou tonight, but I'm going to let you do the talking here during this segment and talk to me a little bit. Let's start off with the coaching staff. Obviously, there's a change at offensive coordinator. So what is the impact of losing Kirby Moore? What does that look like from the standpoint of running? Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be Drink's offense, right? But if you lose a coordinator, sometimes the lack of consistency makes an impact.
I think that was our biggest issue in those early years of Drink. I think Drink was trying to do too much as the offensive coordinator and the head coach. I love the fact that he delegated. And I think that that 2023 year with Kirby and coming in, with Luther Burden and Brady Cook and had a lot of success. I think that was great. I don't know what really changed in that 2024-2025 season. Kirby was kind of doing a few questionable things. You didn't see a lot of quarterback development. So I think a change was good. I think we were ready for that change. Now, Chip Lindsey is coming in. I think he spent a year at Michigan. He was at North Carolina because he developed Drake May. So that's where, Drake
Yep.
May. So he's coming in, and I don't love it. I don't know if he's had a ton of success, a ton of offensive success.
Yeah.
But the quarterback development is something that piques my interest, right? Because we have Austin Simmons coming in from Ole Miss, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit. And you don't really know at this point what you're getting with Austin Simmons. You saw him in a couple of games, kind of a little bit interception prone in those first few games. He was obviously really green, but I'm excited to see what Chip can do with Austin Simmons and with now I'm drawing a blank on Matt Zollers. So I'm excited to see it. It's going to be different, but that's the biggest change we made. We also made a change to our special teams coordinator, which was huge because our special teams was terrible last year.
Not as bad as Florida, but I understand. Are
we sure?
Well, I mean, at least you could get the right number of players on the field more times than not. I mean, that was a problem in Gainesville for sure. I think obviously what we've seen out of Mizzou, not just last year, but really become a consistent thing, is that the running game is going to carry this thing. And even when you have an experienced quarterback or somebody that's dynamic like Austin Simmons, I think that it bodes well that you're going to have some familiarity there regardless. And you kind of know what's coming when you can hand the ball off. Do you think that gives everybody a little bit of breathing room, maybe breaking in somebody like Austin Simmons or even passing it over to Matt Zollers?
I think it does, but also I think it opens up the offense so much because Austin Simmons has a big arm. What Mizzou's been missing a lot these past couple of years are those dynamic plays. We're near the bottom of the SEC in those dynamic plays. We just haven't gotten them. And, we were getting them a little bit more in 2023 with 2023 Brady Cook. But, that didn't really happen in 2024 and 2025. So I'm looking forward to getting that. I think it takes a little bit off of our running backs. They don't feel as pressured to have to basically keep Mizzou in the games because defense and running was all that was keeping us in the games last year.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. And if it wasn't questionable quarterback play at times, the injury bug really just zapped the whole thing by the end of the year. And then you're working with a lack of experience. And I think although people are going to make the argument that Austin Simmons lacks experience as well, and you just kind of alluded to it a little bit there too. I love this kid. I think he's dynamic. I think he has a ton of ability. I think that he's cerebral and that he can see the game in a great way. I mean, you talk about being in the master's program at Ole Miss at age 19, already having graduated from the undergrad school there. There's a lot that goes into how he's operating. And I think let's throw a bone elsewhere for just a moment. we've seen enough, I think, that we should trust Lane Kiffin when it comes to quarterbacks. And although Trinidad Chambliss ended up taking over and taking that job, Austin Simmons was the guy that was recruited to kind of be in that spot. And let's also be honest when we say when Lane went and got Chambliss, that was kind of just like a depth piece. He can say whatever he wants. There was no preparation in terms of, hey, he definitely saw something in him, but it wasn't a plan to come in to take over and make the run that they did. All of their eggs were in the Austin Simmons basket because you could look around and see they didn't really try to go after anybody else. That was a big name quarterback when they had the option. So we know what Lane believed in him, and there was a lot of hype around him going into last year. And then, like you said, some turnover issues, but he can shake those things out as he gains experience. And I would trust Drink to put him in a situation where he's going to be able to get into a rhythm and protect the football early to build some confidence back. But I think he has all of the ability, both physically and mentally, to lead this team. And I think putting him with Eli Drinkwitz is the perfect pairing. What are your thoughts?
No, I totally agree. And I mean, you look at Mizzou over the past few years, they've always kind of come out, even up until July, August, and been like, it's a quarterback battle. We don't know who's starting. Drink said that Austin Simmons was the quarterback in like February. So the fact that he's sitting here like, I have this confidence in Austin Simmons, I mean, that excites me as a fan. It excites the whole fan base because they're seeing something that is saying he's better than Matt Zollers. And I like Matt Zollers, and I think he can be I think he can be the future, but he's way too, we saw it. You saw him, and he had some moments of greatness. He also has a big arm, but he needs that time. He came off of that injury going into his freshman year. He needs that time to grow. I think Austin Simmons is a great person for him to learn behind. And also, you mentioned all that stuff about the master's program. People forget that Austin Simmons also played on Ole Miss's baseball team as well. So, like, he was, he's just like an exceptional student athlete. He's one of those guys that is a leader. He stayed friends with all the baseball guys once he left the baseball program. He's still friends with all the Ole Miss guys. Such good friends with the Ole Miss guys that he brought one over with him.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, let's talk about that a little bit too, because it's not just Austin Simmons that helps fill out this roster. This is a question that we get to do with every program every year now because of the transfer portal. It's not just like, well, who are you developing and who moved on is going into the draft or out of eligibility. There's so much turnover on every roster that for SEC fans, you may be a fan of Arkansas, or you may be a fan of Tennessee, or you may be a fan of South Carolina. And so that means that you didn't pay as much attention to what's happening at Florida in terms of roster turnover, or at Ole Miss, or at Missouri. So talk a little bit about what else is around him that was coming in on this team this year.
So I was, doing a little bit of research before I came on. So we retained 37 players. We signed 23 high school recruits. We added 30 transfers, which, I mean, I would say that's pretty normal these days about the amount that you're getting, because you still have to recruit high school. I know people are saying it's not as important, and I understand that, but you still have to do it. It's a part of the game, and you got to hope that you find a diamond in the rough, kind of like what we did with Donovan Olubade last year. But some of the big pieces, obviously we have returning Ahmad Hardy, absolute stud, Doak Walker finalist, leader in rushing yards for the SEC. He's just a workhorse, man. And he chose to stay at Mizzou, talked about how he could have left and went really anywhere, all these big time programs offering him, and he likes what he has there. I know I'm biased, but Curtis Looper is the running backs coach at the University of Missouri. I think he's one of the best running backs coaches in the country. What other running back coaches have had three different Doak Walker finalists in the past 5 years? Like, it's absolutely insane. So I think he likes learning from him. Your second string behind him is Jamal Roberts, a St. Louis kid who's also could probably start at most Power 4 schools that he goes to. Chose to stay at his home state school. So that's a banger of a 1-2 punch right there. So very excited about them. I mentioned Donovan Olubade. I think he's just going to have a breakout season. You saw some glimpses of greatness from him, some one-handed grabs last season. I think that he's just a superstar. He came out of IMG. Caden Green on the offensive line. He could have probably tested in the waters in the NFL and chose to come back. He was first team all SEC. So we've got some great pieces that are returning.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think that when you look at the 1-2 punch of Hardy and Roberts, like you said, you put Austin Simmons with that, you're going to start running out of options as a defensive coordinator, in my opinion, on what you're going to attack, because we know what these running backs are going to do. We saw them do it last year. I don't believe that we're going to see a major difference. I think that a lot of times when you have running backs have a stellar year like that, it's almost impossible to follow it up because there's going to be adjustments made on the defensive side. And to have a year like what Ahmad Hardy had last year, you're going to have a couple of things break your way. And maybe that doesn't happen this year. But I think that having that tape from last year in front of every defensive coordinator that you're going to face this year changes the game plan in a way that, like I said, it just opens things up for Austin Simmons. And I'm going to keep banging the drum that when you put him with Drink and the running game is there, the world is your oyster. He can do anything with this offense this year. And I think that he, again, has all the tools to do that. Maggie, on
especially
the defense.
When you bring in also, like think about like some of those wide receivers that you brought in too, because I mean, we've had some good wide receivers in the past. I think Kevin Coleman was probably like our go-to guy last year, but I mean, it's hard
to pin that down, right? Who was the go-to guy last year? Because it felt like it was somebody different every week.
We barely passed the ball because there wasn't confidence in the quarterback situation from basically the start of the season to the end of the season. So bringing guys in like Caden Lee, who played with Austin Simmons at Ole Miss, I think that's huge. We brought in what's his name? Caleb Goody from Cincinnati, who was a stud at Cincinnati as well and has a lot of potential. Believe he also played at IMG. So you bring this in with Donovan Olubade. You hopefully have a healthy Brett Norfleet at tight end. I mean, you're opening up a lot of options that you didn't have last year.
Yeah, and I really love Caden Lee, and we kind of featured him a little bit when we were looking at Ole Miss's run last year. And so I think that, familiarity is going to be good. You're going to have somebody that there's a little bit of a rapport with already, which is more important than what people want to give it credit to. Like when something breaks down, who is going to, not just Austin Simmons, but for any team, who's going to be the safety net for these quarterbacks, and who are they looking for to dump it off to? And I think that Caden Lee just has this innate ability to kind of find holes and get into openings. And I think that may be an opportunity for Austin Simmons just to get out of some tight spots early. All right, let's talk about the expectations a little bit, because I feel like Mizzou's kind of falling under the radar a little bit. There's a lot of national questions about Simmons, and I think that's probably a big motivating factor. You lose a couple of key pieces, especially on defense, I think about from a pass rush standpoint. So as we look at the win total, Maggie, is there a number in your mind that you feel like is the floor of where this has to get to in 2026 for the Mizzou fan base, administration, coaches? If I was asking Drink this question and he could be honest with me and we gave him truth serum, what's the number of wins you have to get to call this a success?
I mean, obviously you always want to hit double digits, but you look at that schedule. I mean, you've got Texas, you go to Georgia, like it's tough. I would like to see us at the bottom 8-4. Like that would be like the floor for me of what I would like to see. I think 9-3 would honestly be great, because you're still in all aspects of this. You're really still kind of new with Drink, especially when you're getting coaching turnover and you're still trying to figure things out. He hasn't really gotten a quarterback that's been like his yet. Brady Cook wasn't really his quarterback. Brady Cook was like a St. Louis kid that wanted to play at Mizzou and came in under Barry Odom. So you're still kind of trying to figure this out. I think he's doing well. The problem is, and you and I have talked about this, it's the name on the front of your jersey. So you're always gonna, in these preseason lists or whatever, you're gonna fall low. I remember last year they were talking about Austin Simmons being like a top 5 SEC quarterback. I looked at lists today and he's somewhere around 9 or 10. So the name on the jersey, it matters a little bit. I've seen a lot of us picked at 5 and 7. I've seen 6 and 6, and I'm not saying it can't happen, because injuries happen and teams don't get that chemistry that you think that they're going to have, and the quarterback doesn't pan out. I've obviously seen that with Bo Prabula, but you I would say that I would like to see us do 8-4, win the bowl game. Not that it really matters that much, but that's just an additional win, right? It's just another win under your belt. People look at it in terms of records. It's not like they just avoid it. So I would like us to, have had that win against Virginia. I think we could have had it if, they didn't have a 7th-year starting quarterback and we started a true freshman. It does make a difference, and we could have won at the end. So I think another huge thing too is we have to win those one possession games. That's what made a big difference for us in 2023 and 2024 is getting those one possession games. And we lost some of those last year, the Vanderbilt, the Bamas, the Virginia. So turning that around, I think gives you that opportunity to be at about 9-3.
Yeah. And I think that I agree with you that should be the expectation. Maggie Johnson here with us. Maggie, thank you so much for being with us to talk about Missouri. And when we come back in just a minute, Craig and I will actually predict the schedule, and we'll see if we land in that 8, 9, 10 win territory, or do we have them more in the 5-7, 6-6 ground? We'll see in just a moment. Maggie, thank you so much for being here as always.
Anytime. Love coming on.
We'll be right back on SEC Sunday Night after this.
OTC is go.
Thank you, Pacific, go.
PTC is go.
LPS is go. Houston flight is go.
Pilot go. FTM is go.
Safety comms is go.
FTU is go. LRD is go.
SRO is go.
CDR is go. Launch director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
It's SEC Sunday Night, presented by Hewitt Diamodoris. Visit hdlawsc.com. It's go time.
It's SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network, and we are back with our final segment of the night to predict the Missouri schedule, brought to you as always by Freezing Cold Takes, our good friend there. And we're going to see if we can't heat these takes up tonight, though, Craig, as we look at the Missouri schedule. You heard it there from Maggie Johnson of Mizzou, That's Who, on the KC Sports Network. Good friend of ours, and we're always so thankful for her to come on and give us an overview. I think she was able to kind of outline some strengths and some weaknesses there. The biggest thing for me, Craig, is Austin Simmons, but behind that is these running backs that are coming back that were so effective and dynamic last year. And I think she makes a good point about Looper having 3 Doak Walker finalists in 5 years, 3 different ones, which is just phenomenal. Missouri has kind of become the school that can pull up a running back from a lower level and really make them into a stud. We've seen that time and time again. Ahmad Hardy is going to lead the charge here. But when we look at the schedule, Craig, is it going to be enough? Your thoughts on Missouri before we kind of dive into game by game?
So I think that's the key for Drink. Drink has always been able to find the running back and been able to work his magic there. I was a little shocked when she said, he still hasn't found his quarterback there. That was a little bit of a surprising, but I think, Austin Simmons coming in, that should be a nice breath of fresh air. And again, Drink is a guy that's going to have Mizzou punching up. We'll see where my picks go, but you always have your eye on Missouri because Como is a very difficult place to play, especially at night when they go to blackout. But I think the biggest challenge that Missouri has faced under Drink is that when they play a team with even or better talent, that's when they tend to struggle. And I think that I'm going to preview might be a challenge for the Missouri Tigers in 2020.
Yeah, and it's like you said, they're punching up with him, but how hard can they punch when they do it? Here's what's interesting, Craig, and this is where we're going to jump in here, and I've looked at both of our picks. Arkansas Pine Bluff, that's a win. We're both going to give them that one. Then you get the rivalry, which is renewed again for a second year in a row with Kansas. I have them winning that game. I think they have too much talent for the Jayhawks, although that one can get a little squirrely.
Yeah. Who is the coach of Kansas? I can't remember. Is Wisconsin Whitewater? Had Lance
Leipold.
Lance Leipold. Yeah. Is that a guy who maybe he's regretting not jumping ship 2 or 3 years ago?
It's a Matt Campbell situation, but sometimes a second wave comes if you can hang on and keep punching up, even if you don't punch as hard every year. Matt Campbell, we saw at Iowa State, had some really strong campaigns, went down, came back up a little bit, and then managed to swing the Penn State job, which I think is probably a big step for him. But you're right. There's a decent chance that Leipold missed the wave and probably needs to get back on top of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Leipold's, I think, also about 15 years older than Campbell, so I think that's the other challenge, right? A little bit older of a guy. So.
Exactly. All right, we're moving to Troy, and I'll shout out to our friend Jonathan here, who says that the trap game there against the Troy Trojans. What do you think, Craig? I have them winning that game, starting 3-0.
I don't see how that could be. I just don't see how that's a trap. To me, again, this is the hallmark of Drink. He wins the games he should. Very rarely will he lose anything where he's not supposed to. I think he takes care of business with Troy.
Speaking of games that he should, they travel to Starkville the next week, and we've already picked this game. So I'll say it for us. We both have them winning this game, as we've already picked the Mississippi State schedule. So we've got them starting 4-0. Now, Craig, they host the Florida Gators in year 1 under Summerall. I have them winning. I got them 5-0 to start the year.
I do too. I do too. I think the Gators, we're not sure about what's going to go on at the quarterback. This could be a sneaky ESPN game at 6:30 in God's country's time zone. So that could be a little bit of a challenge. We're looking at a blackout. Brett and Maggie will have the tailgate rocking. Poor John Summerall and our friend David Soderquist will be sad.
5-0 Missouri. We both just picked a 5-0 Missouri. What is Missouri ranked? It's not necessarily a challenging
14.
schedule out of the gate, but what is Missouri ranked if they start this thing off 5-0? I think that you're looking at a top 20 team just because you're going to have Austin Simmons, you're going to have Ahmad Hardy, you are in the SEC. That'll be 2 SEC wins to kick it off. You beat Kansas. I don't know. All right, the next week the Aggies come to town, Craig. This is where I have the first loss setting in. Texas A&M is, I say this every week, I can't wait until we talk about them, and it's so far down the line, but lots of questions. But this is a game where I feel like there's a little bit too much talent, but I'm 50-50 here. This is really, I'm sitting on the fence with this one, but I went with A&M in the win, so this is the first loss for Missouri.
I didn't think about it. Like, again, I feel like it's like Auburn with us a little bit when I think about Texas A&M. Like, I don't trust them. Yet somehow I think their record prediction this year for me is gonna be like 9-3 or 10-2, just because I think a superior talent will take care of it.
Okay, then they go to Ole Miss the following week. I have them back-to-back losses here.
Yep, back-to-back loss. You know, it'd be great. Austin's going to be able to go against Trinidad. We'll see what happens there. But again, I think Ole Miss is very good at home. You know, that was the one thing that Lane Kiffin did a great job at Vaught. He won about 25 of like 27, 28 games. It really became a home field advantage there. I think Pete's going to be able to do that again, especially if they get rocking against LSU.
Man, I'm telling you, a couple of one-loss teams there, that game at Ole Miss, you want to talk about time slots? Is there a chance if they're both one loss, or even if one of them's undefeated, do we get a game day appearance for Austin Simmons returning to Ole Miss? That could be an interesting and underrated return game. There's going to be a lot made about Lane and Ole Miss, but what about Austin Simmons going back and that Simmons versus Chambliss showdown? I think they want to build things based on quarterbacks, and that one will draw the eye.
That one will draw the eye, and I think it draws SEC Nation. But at the end of the day, Ole Miss versus Missouri isn't going to take somebody from ACC or Big Ten country to like, oh, I gotta watch this game. So to me, this is a second tier game, and that is not a knock against anything with Missouri or Ole Miss. It's just those are not the brands and those are not the names that are going to sell for a college game day.
I'll also say that is the Tennessee-Alabama week, so that may be the one that pulls it. Okay, they have a bye week, week 8. Then they're headed to Arkansas. We've already picked that game, so I'll kind of breeze us through that one a little bit too. We both have them winning against Arkansas. Then they host Texas. This is going to be another loss for me, Craig.
Yeah. Arch and Texas kind of come in. I think, again, we're starting to see that 9-game schedule where the difference is. You know, the middle 8, as we like to say. This is where it's going to impact. You know, you may get 2 big dogs But now you got Texas A&M, you got Ole Miss, then you got Texas, and then the next week you're going to Georgia. That's a lot, and that's going to be a real challenge, I think, for some of these teams that have to punch up a little bit.
Yep, I'm going back-to-back losses here. You mentioned Georgia the following week. I don't think that Missouri has enough to get over Texas and definitely not over Georgia in Athens. If they were able to pull one of those off, Craig, then I think we're talking about a borderline playoff team in Missouri, because that's going to be a different caliber. I think they're kind of right below that level for me.
Yep.
And we'll see that here as we kind of round out the schedule. But I mean, I don't want to steal your dog thunder, but what are you thinking about the Tigers headed over to Athens?
I'll be honest, Missouri is a pain in the ass for Georgia.
Yeah.
I always feel like Missouri plays them hard. I don't know if it's that Georgia looks past them or whatever happens, but that is always a 4-quarter dogfight, and it is not a pleasant watch for Georgia fans.
You still have Georgia winning the game, though, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Kirby will find a way.
All right, Kentucky, we've already picked as well. We both have them beating Kentucky. And so I think this last one, Craig, is the place where we're going to differ. They end the season hosting Oklahoma, and I think Missouri actually gets the win here. This is one of those situations where it's going to be at home. I think that the running game of Missouri allows them to set the pace a little differently. I know what you're getting out of a Venables defense, but I'm still interested to see how consistent can that Oklahoma offense be over the course of the year. And we're going to get to them in very soon, actually. But your thoughts on that final matchup of the season between Mizzou and OU?
So everything's in pencil until we actually say it on air. So I literally, as you were talking, I originally had this as a loss for Mizzou. I don't believe in Oklahoma. I don't like Oklahoma. We all know I don't like Oklahoma. So I am not picking Oklahoma to beat. No. Mizzou, this game is in Como. This game's in Norman. I may change my mind if it's on the road, but because it's in Como, and I don't think the Sooners are going to be a playoff team this year, I do believe Missouri wins that game down the year.
So that puts us both having Missouri at 8-4. And it's exactly exactly what you said to start this conversation, Craig. We have them winning the games that you would expect them to win for the most part,
yep,
and losing the ones they would, on paper, be expected to lose. You have back-to-back losses, Texas A&M and at Ole Miss, and then back-to-back losses hosting Texas and then at Georgia. So, again, to your point, 9-game schedule, you get some heavy hitters in here. Everybody's going to deal with this, right? Everybody's going to have to deal with an extra SEC foe. Where does it fall? How does it shake out? Go ahead and wrap us up here and put a bow on your thoughts on Missouri overall. As Maggie and I had to record earlier in the week, you didn't get to squeeze a question in there, but your thoughts on the Tigers overall.
I think the question is on Chip Lindsey. Is he that good of an offensive? I mean, who is Chip Lindsey, right? He got fired at Notre Dame. Was at UNC, was okay. Don't think it was great last year at Michigan, but I mean, Michigan was a damn dumpster fire. So, this is still going to be Drink's blueprint, but is that a good call bringing in Chip Lindsey? I don't know if that is a win or a loss, if that's anything. But to me, again, I think Missouri is a difficult job. It's an outlier within the SEC, and Drink has done a fantastic job. Maggie got mad at both of us, and especially me, because, again, I thought Drink should have been in Florida, Auburn, maybe LSU, but Drink would have played there very well. He plays the villain really well. He likes to have the chip on his shoulder. I think it works out really well. I think Missouri has a very passionate fan base. 8-4 is nothing to shake a stick at. And again, I think that's about where they're going to be. I would say that they're probably looking at that schedule. There might be an extra loss in there. There might be an extra one in there. And neither one of us would be surprised at all by it.
No doubt about it. Well said, my friend. This has been SEC Sunday Night. Big shout out to Maggie Johnson, to Casey Cregan, and to Chris Marler for jumping in here with us tonight. We had a fun one. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us tonight. We're here every Sunday at 8. So you come back and hit the lights with us next time. I'm Rob. He's Craig. We'll see you next week.